Joe, is there a lot of excitement among the squad to go and compete in these Champions League qualifiers?
Yeah, as you can imagine, it's one of the most prestige tournaments that there is. That's what everybody wants to play in. You know, you always hear the question, World Cup or Champions League, and it's a hard one. So I think that just brings its own level of excitement. The opposition brings its own level of excitement as well. We know it's going to be a difficult task, but it's also an exciting one. So we need to make sure that we're prepared for it, but we also want to enjoy every moment too. We've pulled out the highest team available, the highest seeded team available in the draw. So it's tough, but that's what it's there for. You know, I think there's a bit of pressure on them to get out of this stage because they didn't do it last year. So they've got to make sure probably that they're doing their work and their homework on us, particularly that we're the first team up. So, you know, the whole emphasis will be on them to beat us because that's probably what everybody expects. So we've got to try and take a little bit of advantage of that. We've had good conversations with the group and the players about how we're going to play, how we're going to set up, what that looks like. And we're going to go down there and try and cause an upset, obviously.
Is this one of the pinnacles as a professional to go and compete in Europe? Yeah,
it definitely is. As I say, it's your next stage to international football. There's not many players that have the opportunity to go and play in World Cups and in European Championships. So this is definitely the next best thing for me. It's a real opportunity to go and put yourself on a stage, to go and play against the best, test yourself, see where you're at. We know where we're at in Scotland. We don't know where we are compared to everybody else. So we need to make sure that we're giving it a really good go and make sure that we're doing all the work that we need to do to be prepared for them.
And of course, you've been paired with Arsenal first up, a club that you know well. What do you expect from Arsenal?
They've been at the forefront of the women's game now for such a long time. They do everything right. You know, they sell out the Emirates, which is every single time they play, which is kind of unheard of. There's not many other teams that can do that. Be a part of that journey of them, and we will play a little part in that. They've got to beat us along the way. We've got to make that it's not an easy route for them. So, you know, they're the teams that you're wanting to put yourself against because they are one of the best and they will continue to be one of the best for many, many years because of the work that they've put in throughout the years. You know, when I was there as a teenager going into my early 20s, that you just see that they were at the forefront then, and to stay at the forefront for this many years is really hard to do. They've had to continue to grow with the times and establish themselves and force themselves to get back to the top level of WSL football as well. And they're going to want to go as far as they can in Champions League football because that's their next stage. So, you know, to be a part of that journey and to go down and play against one of the best teams in Europe is exciting for us.
You spoke about spending some time with Arsenal there as a teenager. What are some of your best memories from them?
Do you know what? How good the club are. It has a very similar feel to here. There's no false promises. You know, what you get told is what you get. They want to be the best. So it's a very similar feel to, you know, we expect to win things. That's on their shoulders, which is very much on our shoulders as well. Many, many years down the line, being professional than we are. We're still in our infancy for that, but they're the team that you've got to look at. They're the team that you've got to aspire to be. And we've just got to look at, you know, where they are. That's where we want to be in a few years to come. And who knows, we can, you know, go down there and feat ourselves against one of the best.
Yeah, and for many girls in the squad, this will be their first taste of European football. How much do you hope they grasp the opportunity in front of them? Yeah,
we have to. You know, you don't get another opportunity. You go out at this stage, you're done. So it's kind of a sink or swim stage for us. We want to make sure that we're coming out of that on the right side of it, not on the wrong side of it. And we've got great characters in the group. We see players, our young players that have come through and, you know, just took each game in their stride and performed and exceeded all expectations. And we've got a really strong group that have been together for a good year now. We've not had too many ins and outs. We've had a little few along the way, which has helped gel us a little bit more. And ultimately, we've been back in our season for a few weeks now. We're not in pre-season, so we've got to make sure that we use that to our advantage as well. Make sure that we use our togetherness and what we've been building in pre-season and into the season and take that into those games.
Yeah, do you think the experienced international players will be key in a match like this?
Yeah, because, you know, you've seen some of our players that have had to step out against England in recent months. So they'll be using those experiences. It also is very different because you're playing against different nationalities within Arsenal. You know, they just signed one of the best players from Barcelona that has been there for 20 years or something like that. So, you know, that's the difference with Arsenal. They can sign players that bolster their front line. They've got a very attacking group, but that also leaves you chances the other way. So, you know, they're going to have great players. It's one of those that we've got to either stand up to the opportunity and go, yep, let's give this a real good go, or you can, you know, crumble under those pressure. But I don't doubt for 1 minute that we've got players that are going to stand up and have a real good go.